Welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you live from beautiful Europe. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far, staying healthy, staying productive. Welcome Don, hi Ronnie, hi Ruth. Welcome students and welcome members. Hi Chubby. In this class, everyone, we are looking at speaking part 3, talking about how to get a band 9. What do you really need to do to get those nice high band scores? And as usual, this presentation is brought to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of our websites, we have lots of videos, interactive courses, exams to help you reach your needed scores. We have lots of chances for speaking as well. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. It is a one-time payment for lifetime access, so definitely worth a few dollars to get all this valuable information and help. For the general IELTS, it's the green background. You can click that big red button to join our premium package there. Welcome, Carolina, Abhishek. Good to see you in the class. You can log into your My Student account after you create your account, and you will find options for speaking, writing, and other sections of the IELTS as well. You can practice your speaking with other IELTS students for free with video chat once you log in. If you have any questions, send me an email, adrian@aehelp.com. I will gladly answer any inquiries that you may have. Now, our schedule for the week. Speaking part 3 right now, and there's no class on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then I will be back on the 24th, and just one special day to pay attention to on the 26th. There's no class because I will be sitting the IELTS exam, the academic computer-based version. And just to keep me fresh, keep me in the game, be empathetic with my students, and bring you lots of new cool lessons with information and strategies to help you. So look forward to that. But otherwise, we will have classes every day except for that day as regular until Saturday. Okay? All right. Yes, Jobby, it will be me sitting the exam this time. So I think that's important to do every now and again so that I can feel what my students and people feel around the world. All right. Some people might be surprised, Chabi. Yeah. Thanks, Huda. Okay. So everyone, this is a speaking class. So let's speak and repeat. Speak and repeat. So repeat what I say, copy my intonation, copy my enunciation, my pronunciation, okay, as best as you can. Now, part 3 is, of course, following part 2, and you have to show good fluency, detailed, original language here. You have to be a quick thinker. You have to visualize. Okay, so we're going to focus today on coming up with answers because I think one of the challenging parts for many students is how to come up with good answers. Okay, and that's a great question if anybody's thinking about that. You have to visualize. So visualize, see the information. Okay, reflect on your own life experiences. Okay, think outside the box. I'll explain that later. All right, and think of what 9 from 10 people would say if you asked this question. Okay, so we're going to practice each of these 4 strategies so that we can come up with good answers quickly. Okay? All right. So you're sitting in your IELTS exam, and by this time you should be comfortable. I really hope that you're not still nervous when it's part 3. At this point, you should be calm and you should be cool as a cucumber, as the saying goes in English. Cool as a cucumber. Focused. Don't worry about the examiner. The examiner looks strange, pretty weird, angry, strict, happy. Doesn't matter. Focus on yourself. You're there to do a job. You have to show your best English. That's what you're there to do. Think about the examiner as your grandfather or grandmother who loves you very much. They don't hear so well, so you have to speak loud. And they don't know what you know. They grew up in a different generation. They learned different information in school. So you have to really, really clearly explain ideas to them. Okay? Don't repeat. They're smart. You don't have to keep repeating the same idea, but you do have to give them details. Okay? All right. So you're sitting there, and the examiner says, it's the end of part 2. Now we will continue with part 3. For part 3, I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2. And then they'll introduce the topic. Let's talk about life skills. Skills for life, life skills. Okay? All right. So here we go. What are some skills that parents should teach their children to be successful in life? So what are some skills that parents should teach their children to be successful in life? Now, this is, of course, some of you are realizing, hey, Adrian kind of helped us with the previous class when we were doing that Q&A session. Okay, so visualize, see yourself growing up, see the kinds of information that your parents taught you, or think about, hey, I wish my parents taught me this. See yourself in your everyday life. What do you wish your parents had taught you that could help you today? Think outside the box. That means don't just think about one idea, but think about life dynamically, okay, from many different perspectives, okay? And think of what 9 out of 10 people would say to this question. So if you ask 10 people, what kind of skills should parents teach their children to be successful? What do you think? Okay. All right. So let's see what you come up with, and then I'll give you a bit of information on what I think, what I visualize. Okay. All right. A on 04 says how not to get scammed. Don't use negatives, Aeon. Use positives. So how to make good choices. Okay, so AION, this is a good point, AION, so I'm going to actually emphasize this here. So AION says how not to get scammed. It's important that you don't communicate from the negative. So avoid communicating from the negative side. Okay, so I don't want my parents to teach me how not to something happen. I want them to teach me how to something to happen. Okay, so instead of this how not to get scammed, I think a better answer would be how to make good decisions. Okay, it's always clearer to communicate from the positive, so to make good decisions. Okay, if you make good decisions, you avoid being scammed. Okay, that's why I'm saying that. So the way to make good decisions. Okay, does everybody see that? So does everybody see how it's better to always say what something should be rather than what it should not be? It leads to clear communication. And Aeon, thank you for saying that, because it helps me to teach that valuable point. Okay. All right. Oa says, many skills which parents teach to their children, such as speaking love and respect towards others, how to avoid risks. I taught my son he should put on his helmet when he rides the bicycle. Okay, Ois. Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, a skill of love, skill of respect. Respect, maybe love is a little bit awkward to imagine. Instead of speaking, I would say communication skills. So, teaching children to be good communicators is a really important skill. I agree. And that's something I definitely visualize my parents teaching me when I'm growing up, how to talk to others, how to ask questions. Hence, I'm here talking to you. Un says, I think there are several traits that can help children to succeed. Some that come to mind are perseverance, dedication, and teamwork. Most successful leaders in the world have these skills. Okay, Un, good. Don't repeat yourself on traits and skills. They're synonyms. You don't need to repeat that. So, yeah, I mean, traits a little bit different than skills, but it's still repetition. Okay, just one, not both. All right, traits is good paraphrasing. All right. Alpha says parents should teach their kids to respect others, their beliefs, life choices, and opinions. Why, Alpha? Give me an explanation and give me an example. The question includes a bit of that. So, to be successful in life, right? Okay, so include that in your answer. Make sure that you use the elements of the question, students. So, what are skills parents should teach their children? So, you need to include skills parents teach children and successful in life. You need to include all of those in your answer so that it's really clear, okay, and that you're on topic. Mahmoud says, well, I think there are a lot of experiences that parents should pass on to their children, especially the ways that they can improve their thinking and making decisions at critical moments in life. Mahmoud, good thoughts there. Explanation example missing and a couple of grammatical errors. So I corrected those. Check those later, Mahmoud, okay? All right, Mirza is asking, how do I overcome stammering and fumbling? I'm guessing that's not the skill that you think parents should teach, but that's a question that you're asking, okay? There are a lot of different types of exercises and training, Mirza, that you can do, both on your own and with a speech therapist. So I highly recommend looking into speech therapy and speech correction and speech coaching to correct your stammering and fumbling. Do some searches online for that, and you'll find lots of information. Okay. Rashika says parents should breathe the basic factors into their children's life, such as teaching empathy, respect for elders, honesty, table manners, and saying thank you. Yeah, there's that indirect quote, right? Saying thank you. Okay, so Rashika, why? It sounds like you're jumping around a bit. You need to focus yourself a little bit more, but not bad. Okay, not bad. All right. So here, I'll give you an answer and then we'll move on. I'll explain my answer. So here, all I'm doing is, as I hear this question, I'm visualizing my parents, my childhood, what I learned. I'm also visualizing movies. I'm visualizing the cliches. I'm visualizing from many different perspectives. So thinking outside the box, okay? So there are many important abilities that parents ought to pass on to their offspring so that they can achieve success in their lives, such as good communication skills, financial management, and hard work. Having such skills leads to high-paying jobs and happy relationships. I can still hear my father's voice telling me to keep pushing forward and to listen to others before giving ideas. Okay, somebody in the last class asked me, how do you use indirect speech in the speaking section? And so here's another example of that, so kind of reiterating that point, okay? Now, notice all I'm doing here is I'm visualizing and I'm thinking of what's happened in my life. I'm thinking of what is required to be successful, of what parents teach. Even when we're little tiny toddlers waddling around, parents are teaching us how to say ideas, how to listen to each other, how to be empathetic. Okay, so again, speak and repeat. Notice that I'm giving an answer, explanation. I'm using the question. And my example here is that indirect speech. Okay, I believe that was our member Jaineel last class that asked about that in the Q&A session. So here we go, everyone. Speak, repeat. What are some skills that parents should teach their children to be successful in life? There are many important abilities that parents ought to pass on to their offspring so that they can achieve success in their lives, such as good communication skills, financial management, and hard work. Having such skills leads to high-paying jobs and happy relationships. I can still hear my father's voice telling me to keep pushing forward and to listen to others before sharing my own ideas. Okay, so next question, it's kind of a follow-up question. These questions are usually linked. The examiner is looking for depth. All right, here we go. What skills should schools teach to students to guarantee their success in life? So parents, no surprise here, school. So now you're visualizing about school. What did you learn in school? How did that help you? And so what is school teaching you? Not your friends, but school. That means your classes, your curricula, your teachers. Okay? So what is school teaching you? Okay. All right. Arda says, schools are a second home. We learn a lot of subjects at school. When it comes to what schools should teach students, they should absolutely teach honesty, because in my opinion, honesty is the most important. That's an awkward answer, Arda. Schools are a second home. I'm not sure how that's too relevant there. We learn a lot of things, Arda. We don't learn things. We learn information, and we learn different subjects like math and sciences. Don't use the word things, students. It's a zero-value word, okay? Everybody knows the word things. It's one of the first words people learn in another language. It's not useful in your writing or in your speaking. Avoid it, okay? Avoid the word things and stuff, and don't use the word you in your speaking either. You're not talking about your examiner, so don't use you, okay? Things, stuff, you. Avoid them, all right? Schools are teaching honesty. Yeah, I think that's more the job of parents in the community. School is a part of that. I don't think that's what's really the... So Arda, remember what I said, okay? What would 9 from 10 people say, okay? If you ask them the question, what should schools teach children for success, okay? And keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate that, okay? All right. So it's school. Remember, it's school. Okay, Dhruv says, in my eyes, schools must teach better communication skills to their students and life lessons, as these not only shape their life, but also can easily wave their wings into their... I'm not sure where you're going with the wings part, Dhruv. It's really an awkward idiom, and it's confusing me. So don't do that. Don't use idioms that are confusing, okay? You'll lose marks for that. And again, communication skills, yeah, school's a part of that, but I don't think it's necessarily school that has that primary function. It's more society, friends, family. Kevin Bowie says formal education can set children up for success by imparting in them key academic abilities such as research, evaluation, IT skills. It is clear that graduates with firm grasps of these techniques are valued by employers and would adapt and perform effectively in workplaces. Kevin, thank you for a Band 9 example. Absolutely. That's what schools teach us. Schools teach us most of the technical skills in life that we don't really learn at home. Dad doesn't sit me down to teach me the latest software programming languages. It's not his cup of tea, right? But school does, and that will give me tools for employment and for success. Okay, absolutely. Very nicely done, Kevin. Always appreciate those high caliber answers. Okay. Anthony says, in my opinion, schools should teach their students business management so that they can profit in the future. Anthony, you're on the right track. Business management is just one. So say at least a couple. Okay. Let me go back here. What skills? Okay. Always pay attention to the plural. Skills. Here it's an S. So you want to name at least 2, 3 skills minimum. Antoinette. Sorry. A lot of unique names. I'm trying my best to pronounce them. My apologies if I mispronounce your name. Okay, Rashika says there are a variety of talents schools should teach to pupils to fulfill success, such as civic education, nutrition, academic knowledge, financial literacy, leadership, teamwork skills. Very good, Rashika. Okay, Rashika, you're kind of falling off on the other side of the horse. So you have lots of good ideas. The problem is you have too many. Okay, so there is such an idea as too many good ideas. Okay, so Rashika, keep it to 3, maybe 4, and then explain. So explain why school is responsible for that and how that helps, and maybe an example of that. Okay, maybe you learned a programming language in high school that you use today to be a successful person. So give depth, okay, not just breadth, Rashika. So it's good to say 2 or 3 different ideas, but if you just keep listing, like, and math skills, and English skills, and engineering skills, then the examiner is going to be like, okay, you've got good lexical resource, but your coherence could be better by explaining and giving an example. Okay, Rashika, so pay attention to that, right? So find that happy middle ground, right, in your communication. Answer, explain, example, all right? All right, okay, so lots of good ideas now. I can see many more of them, all right? So I believe that educational institutions are responsible for teaching much of the book knowledge that is needed for growth and success. These include academic topics like math, history, and sciences, which not only set the foundation for a child's future job, but also enable him or her to discover their passion in life. I discovered that I love teaching while doing a class presentation in high school. Okay, so again, how do I come up with these ideas so quickly on the fly? I'm visualizing. I'm thinking outside the box. I'm thinking of my own life experiences. Okay? And I'm putting it together. So here we go. Repeat after me. What skills should schools teach to students to guarantee their success in life? I believe that educational institutions are responsible for teaching much of the book knowledge that is needed for growth and success. These include academic topics like math, history, and sciences, which not only set the foundation for a child's future job, but also enable him or her to discover their passion in life. I discovered that I love teaching while doing a class presentation in high school. Okay, good. So answer, explain, example. That nice balance. See what I mean, Rashika? I just mentioned math, history, science. That's it. Okay. Definitely it was mostly school that taught me that information rather than my parents. Okay. All right. Okay. So next question. Here we go. Let's pick up some momentum. Keep writing, everyone. Keep doing your best. I will read different students' responses for different questions so that everybody will get a good idea, okay? All right. Here we go. Next question. So you're moving along nicely. Obviously here the topic is about life skills. That was introduced. Here we go. Next question. How have the skills required for daily life changed since a generation ago? So have changed. Immediately I recognize it's present perfect. I'm going to respond with present perfect. Chabi says, years ago, people needed to learn skills for surviving in the wild, for example, hunting to eat, which is not the case in the modern day, where individuals need to learn how to use computers in order to get food. Chabi, any present perfect in there? I don't see it. I don't hear it. You should have present perfect in there. The question is present perfect, Chabi, so put it in there, okay? An says, compared to a century ago, skills that are needed in daily life have changed enormously. Nowadays, practical and technological skills have become much more valuable than theoretical knowledge in the job market. Okay, sure. Can you give me an example, An? You're on the right track. Rashika says, the talents that are wanted for daily life have gradually improved since a generation ago as a result of technological innovations. Instead of a person communicating to perform activities such as banking, studying, teaching communication, buying and selling, people can simply access the internet and fulfill these activities at home. Last week, I bought a present from my mother online. Okay, Rashika, better, better. I think you're still a little bit generalizing, but better, okay? Yeah, much better, Rashika. Dhruv says, I think recognizing the best substitute products for our daily life is an important skill, which we have a lot of online platforms for purchasing that we did not have in the past. Okay, so what's the skill, Dhruv? What's the skill that has changed? All right. Okay. Kevin says, life skills have changed dramatically compared to the past in the direction of using more technology. While it used to be ridiculous to ask for credit card payment, this form of transaction is now prevalent in all stores, some of which even prefer it over cold hard cash. Also, media literacy and debunking fake news is a critical skill for modern life that seemed far-fetched a few decades prior. Nice use of idiomatic language, Kevin. Far-fetched. Yeah, far-fetched means unrealistic or fictitious. Very good. Yeah. All right. Ois says, the skills required for daily life have changed significantly in the few decades because today life is much more complicated. Meeting life requirements, people should have high skills for labor. And yeah, Ois, you're on the right track. I see it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so specialized skills, right, have become much more in demand. All right. Specialized skills. Yeah, that's why people tend to go to university and school a lot longer. That's the explanation, right? A generation ago, many people with high school diplomas could actually get fairly decent employment. In today's world, in the West, good luck with that. It's possible, but definitely not as easy as it used to be. Mahmoud says the skills have changed since back 10 decades from now. Humanity was learning to hunt, while nowadays people have been learning IT and programming. Yeah, Mahmoud, very good. Yeah. You can maybe even include an example, Mahmoud. Like I heard from my grandfather's stories that he still had to learn how to set a trap. And these days, I have been learning how to write code in C++ to buy bread. Okay. So yeah, you can include an example like that. Okay. CAB Thug says previously people didn't need to learn how to manage their finances or learn variable skills just to get accepted into a job, but over the period they have changed. And people now need to adopt many different kinds of technologies to be qualified for employment. Clism says skills required a generation ago were simple and less specialized. With the advent of the internet, technical skills using technology have begun to gain unprecedented importance. Clism, you're on the right track for sure. Give me a bit more information with an example, and you're doing great. Okay. RK Panda says, with current technological change, daily life has been majorly impacted with respect to getting information up to date, such as with COVID. Okay, I wouldn't bring COVID into this. I think it's a bit awkward. Okay. But maybe dietary skills, so having skills on how to eat well. In the past, it used to be that you just bought some food and it was healthy for you. Nowadays, you have to be a nutritionist to eat healthy and live healthy because there's so much unhealthy food available on the market, right? So, yeah. Or maybe it's just that we've gotten smarter. I don't know. Perhaps. But the skills for day to day. Another way to say daily is day to day. The skills for day-to-day living have changed a fair bit since my parents' time. Okay. Another way to say generation ago is my parents' time. My time, my generation, my parents' time, a generation ago. Okay. So, and then we keep going with it. So during my parents' time, generalized skills were acceptable for many jobs. However, these days, specialized skills are in high demand for most work. As well, nowadays, one word, people have to be proficient in the use of technologies such as computers and mobiles. As well, people have had to adapt to the overwhelming information that is hitting them each day. And this requires people to constantly filter for the truth. Okay. I know that I'm often closing apps on my phone so that I do not get distracted. Okay. I'm moving along nicely here. And just drawing from what many of you are saying as well. Okay. Here we go. So repeat after me. How have the skills required for daily life changed since a generation ago? Well, the skills for day-to-day living have changed a fair bit since my parents' time. During my parents' time, generalized skills were acceptable for many jobs. However, these days, specialized skills are in high demand for most work. As well, nowadays, people have to be proficient in the use of technologies such as computers and mobiles. As well, people have had to adapt to the overwhelming information that is hitting them each day, and this requires people to constantly filter for the truth. I know that I'm often closing apps on my phone so that I do not get distracted. Okay, so let's do the next question. Let's keep practicing. One way to help you think of better ideas and to be more fluent is, of course, through practice, and that's what we're doing right now. So follow-up question, always be ready for the follow-up question. Zabeni is asking, how can I get the schedule? Zabeni, we always post the schedule on our YouTube community posts and also in our Instagram profiles, IELTS_AE help or G IELTS help for Instagram, and on our YouTube channel you can find our live classes. Okay, so here we go. What new skills do you think may be important in the future? Okay, so now we're going into the future, and you should be thinking to use the participle will to indicate the future. Technology is always a good first thought when you're thinking about the future, as obviously we are becoming more and more technology dependent. Okay. Always says, in my opinion, the most important skills in the future are telecommunication skills, electronic and sports skills. To encourage people to follow a healthy lifestyle, governments will have to create competitive facilities or competitions. Okay. I'm not sure where you're going with that last bit, Ois, but maybe you can finish it up. Okay, Chabi says, that's an important question. I believe that AI skills are going to have an important value in the coming years as technology is improving rapidly and many companies are embracing this technology. Yeah, satisfying times. AI, artificial intelligence, and how to use it and interact with it, I agree, could be very important. Cyrillic, Andrea, maybe, Alex, I don't know, I can't read the Cyrillic, but I can read what you wrote. The most significant skills that future people ought to learn is the way to effectively comprehend new data and study productively. I believe that in the future there will be even more sources of information. Okay, sure, that's good. Harsh says, in my view, there are 4 major skills that are important for the future, like soft skills, computer skills, and IT skills, business management, and financial skills that lead the trends. This must be important in the near future. Yeah, I agree. Financial skills, I think, are becoming very important right now, but even more important in the future because it seems like the new war, the new battle of our planet is financial. So this is where you can think outside the box, okay? Think outside the box. So financial skills, technological skills, and there's another one I haven't seen yet, but I definitely think it could be important for the future, okay? Caroline, there you are. I remember, says, well, for the future, I think individuals should be encouraged to develop their soft skills like communication and computer skills, such as learning Microsoft Office, which are needed by most workplaces, learning to use Excel. Alpha says technology is ever evolving. To stay up with the technological advancements, learning about robotics, machine learning, and even the ability to design our own apps is going to be essential for survival. Could be. Yeah, interesting. Okay, IELTS Education says we also offer online lessons 3 times a week. IELTS Education. Please don't use our chat to promote yourself. Carolina, if you could, please take care of that. No, I'll take care of it, Carolina. Don't worry about it. Okay. All right. PK Panda says, in my opinion, getting involved in the latest technology like robotics and AI may help everyone stay up to date. An example is like how technology can help fix climate change. Okay, PK Panda, good, you're on the right track. PK Panda with climate change. So when you're thinking about your ideas and you think about, well, technological skills to help manage the environment could become very important, that can help you to segue into another idea, which are survival skills if the planet becomes a less hospitable place to live. Okay, already our planet is being used by humans at a very high level for food, for natural resources. So maybe basic survival skills. The life is unpredictable and often ironic. So right now we're all about technology, but who knows? Maybe not so far in the future it will be all about hunting and gathering again. We don't know, right? Remember what I said about thinking outside of the box? Okay, and I've shown people that really interesting little exercise on how to connect 9 dots with 4 lines without lifting the pen with 4 straight lines. And the only way that you can really do it is by going outside of the box, right? So you go outside of the box and then you can connect with 4 lines, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, we can connect those 9 dots. But the only way to do that is to go outside the box, because nobody says you can't go outside the box, right? So there are many solutions. And when you're thinking about your part 3 answers, it's good to think about different kinds of futures. So many of you thought about a future that's got flying cars, electric cars, tons of robots and technology, and everybody is living happily in their projected virtual reality bracelet / mobile phone communicator. And that's kind of Star Trek-y, and you know, possible. Maybe that's what's going to happen, and that's great. There's also the other version where things don't go that well, doom and gloom, humans survive, but it becomes difficult, and we have to learn skills like how to purify water, how to grow our own food. You never know, okay? I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, but that could happen, okay? So there are a few different skills that may become handy for the next generations, depending on what direction the planet and society goes. If humans continue to thrive and develop technologically, then certainly computer skills, programming, and financial management, like trading crypto
currencies are going to be, notice that will, instead of will, are going to be valuable assets. However, if it all goes south, then survival skills like gathering food and purifying water may become necessary for survival.
All right, so that's kind of what I mean about thinking outside of the box, right? So what new skills do you think may be important in the future? Well, it really depends on what the future will be, right? So there are a few different skills that may become handy for the next generations, depending on what direction the planet and society goes. If humans continue to thrive and develop technologically, then certain computer skills, programming, and financial management, like trading cryptocurrencies, are going to be valuable assets. However, if it all goes south, then survival skills like gathering food and purifying water may become necessary for survival. Okay, and as a father, I'm hoping it's the former and not the latter for my children. But yeah, handy. Handy means useful. Okay, so a couple of idioms here. To be handy means to be useful. And there's an idiom there that probably some of you caught as well. Things go south. Okay, to go south in this case means to turn for the worse. Okay, to become bad. All right, there's some vocabulary for you there as well. Okay, everyone, here are a few more questions. I'm going to leave these ones for you to practice over the rest of the weekend and with each other on our websites. Where can people learn advanced skills which are highly demanded by society? Can you elaborate? And let's talk about setting goals. And then here are a couple questions about setting goals. Goal setting is very, very important. So practice that. And remember, practicing the skills of visualization, thinking outside the box, thinking about what the majority of people would respond, and drawing on the life experiences that you have had are the key to coming up with dynamic, detailed, original, high band answers. Okay, after band 6, 5, 7, it's not just about your English, it's also a lot about the content of your information. You're very welcome, Catherine. You're welcome, innocent girl. Good to have you as always. Thank you, Carolina, for mediating the chat. That's very helpful for everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. If it's late in your country, get some sleep, get energized for tomorrow. And remember to visit aehelp.com for academic IELTS. Lots of HD video lessons by me and a couple other teachers as well. And gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. We are world leaders when it comes to IELTS preparation, developing your communication and your English. I'm Adrian, signing out from Central Europe for now. I hope to see you next week. Classes start on Wednesday. Bye for now.